What's up, everybody? Welcome to RBL Weekly. We are back with another episode in the off-season. I am the Roast Battle League Commissioner, Pat Barker. That is the host and creator of the Roast Battle, Brian Moses. This is normally the part of the show where we would bullshit around and talk about the World Championship and everything like that, but we're getting our new studio ready, and you can see you can't see it on the tight shot. It'll all be revealed in the coming weeks. We got shit on the walls, we got lights, we got microphones. Moses has, what do you got there? What is that?
Don't worry about this, Pat.
Okay.
Don't worry about this. If you know, you know.
I don't know.
It's Super Bowl Sunday, Pat. We're going to need a lot of this.
We're being told off screen you need to hold it up because apparently it is not on camera. So the if you know joke is not. We're learning the technical aspects of it. We want the Narcan joke to hit, but we need to hold it up. So we're learning all that. We don't have the wide shot yet. We're getting in touch with our new studio here, but it's going to be great.
Under construction.
But you said it is Super Bowl Sunday, and it took a while to kind of set everything up today, so we're moving a camera towards. This is great, dude. We're figuring it out. But we don't have time to figure it out today.
No.
Because the Birds are in the Super Bowl. Eagles, I'm not sure it's on camera or not. Go Birds. Birds versus Chiefs coming up in about 2 hours, so we don't have time to fuck around. We're just going to jump into what we're talking about today. Real quick, prediction for the game. Who you got?
Listen, I hate the Chiefs. I'm a Raider fan. Go Birds.
Go Birds. I'm taking a Birds, and I'm trying to parlay it with the Roast Battle Championship in LA in March. Nate Welch versus Tom Goss. Which way should I go? I got 2 hours to get the bet in. Birds and Nate, Birds and Tom. What do you guys think? What we're going to highlight today, and we got some cool episodes coming up, and we're rocketing towards the start of the season. March is going to be insane. I have a list of battles that we're going to get into next week that are big Battle of the Year candidates coming up in March. But today I want to focus a little bit on this other league that we developed, and we haven't really talked a whole lot about. We had one episode, 8 additional teams coming in to a secondary league with the chance to win your way into the Roast Battle League in 2026. We had a great conference call with the guys yesterday, and we wanted to check in on some of them. I don't know what that means. Talking to the mic. Okay. We're learning here. We're learning, guys. The off camera, my producer just sort of pointed to his mustache, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Secondary league, 8 teams trying to fight their way in, and 4 of them sent us footage to watch today. So what do you say? We just get into it.
Yeah, let's preview the secondary league. What are we calling this league?
A lot of people are in favor of the BBL. I think there's logistical issues with that. I think there's going to be a lot of angry people in the comments if we have BBL Weekly and it is Roast Battles. My favorite one is the WRBL. And I was like, well, what does the W stand for? And they're like, it could just be roast spelled wrong, like WRO8. That's the leader in my clubhouse, but I'm open to other ideas for sure.
The BBL is great, and I'm in your camp, BBLers.
Okay.
Yeah, the RBL and the BBL.
I'm a WRBL guy. Sound off in the comments. Let us know what you think. But either way, I think there's going to be some great battles to come out of it. Now, when we did the initial preview episode, we ran out of time. And I gave you a choice on the last one. I said, do you want to watch Hartford or New Orleans? And you laughed out loud.
I did.
And you said, New Orleans.
Yeah.
You have an anti-Hartford bias. I'm planting that seed. It seems that way.
Sorry, Hartford.
Well, we're going to start with Hartford today.
Oh.
And I'm going to, who knows, maybe you'll like it. There's only one way to find out. We're going to jump right into it here. This is a battle that comes to us from Hartford a couple of weeks ago as they gear up for their initial season. This is Giancarlo Biondino versus Charity Gregory. Let's check it out and see what we got.
Giancarlo's going first. Let's roast.
Guys, a nice round of applause for my opponent, Little Orphan Anorexic. Charity says she's gone in and out and in and out and in and out of the closet for a very long time. She's currently dating a man, but she recently told me, I'm gonna come out tomorrow.
Thank you, Molester Stallone. People say Giancarlo got Me Too'd, but that is not true. He's so unknown that he got me neither.
All right. I may look like Sylvester Stallone, but you look like Rocky Dennis. So, actually, looks like Pennywise the clown if they went by the pronouns it, they, them. I don't know what to call you. I don't want to be offensive. What would you prefer? Would you prefer Faggoty Ann or Raggedy Androgynous?
Good one, Waluigi Mangione. Giancarlo is 40 years old. He's never had a midlife crisis, but he has had a midlife.
All right. Another round of applause for Rebate McIntyre, everybody. Doesn't Charity kind of look like one of the nerd girls that gets asked to prom by one of the jocks on a dare? And then when he comes to pick her up that night, she comes down the stairs and flips her hair and takes off her glasses. He realizes, wow, you're uglier than I thought.
Giancarlo describes running as a religious experience. So do the women who pray he won't catch them. Yeah. I love running. I'd say 5K is probably my favorite. Charity's familiar with 5K. It's her family's yearly income. No, she's a doll. She is a doll. Look at her. She's got the clothing of Chucky, the cunty attitude of an American girl, and her pussy smells like a cabbage patch. Giancarlo is a heroin addict second, but a chef first, so he only shoots up using wooden spoons.
Everybody has a past, and I don't think bringing up something that happened a month and a half ago. And I told you I'd give you your wallet back when I'm done with it. But Charity's really into chess. She's a great chess player. She's actually starring in the Netflix remake of Queer's Gambit.
Good one, Chef Soy Boy RD. No, Giancarlo is tired of the Italian stereotypes. He doesn't even say, forget about it. He just uses roofies.
And thank you, girl who looks like she has her favorite flavor of window. Charity kind of looks like Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus if she took her students on a wild adventure inside of a trans woman to prove they have a uterus. And then when she couldn't find it, shockingly, she said, we have to go. The shrink machine's going to wear out, but they can have babies.
Thank you, Danny Tanner, if the show was called Full Halfway House. Giancarlo's family adopted a Korean woman. I swear to God, white men will do anything to get Asian girls.
That's it, yeah. One more.
Charity's really into Star Trek, which makes total sense because boyfriends leave her at light speed. Fucking her is boldly going where no man has ever gone before. And if you give her a compliment, she becomes a Klingon.
Giancarlo is Italian, so when he talks to women, he uses a lot of hand gestures. Gestures like... Now, maybe Giancarlo doesn't strike you as an Italian, but as an Italian, he will strike you.
Damn, dude.
I was wrong. I was wrong about Aaron Hernandezville. Connecticut, though, yeah, the burbs are on fire. And yes, Italians and redheads, those are very Connecticut populous people.
I'm proud to say I've spent maybe 20 minutes in Connecticut my whole life. So I'll take your word for it.
All Mexican, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I thought that was great. I thought they had the rebuttal. If you told me there was going to be a battle where you're going to start with like a battle where there's like 7 thank you puns, I would have been really upset. I didn't watch any of these ahead of time. Those were some pretty fresh ones. There were a couple things where I'm like, I mean, I've heard that before, but like there was a lot of stuff where I'm like, that is it wasn't that I've never heard it before, which I haven't, but it was more like, how have I never heard that before? You know, That's how you know you have a pretty good joke.
That's how you know that Connecticut has a very good school system. And just that whole tri-state area is just very well educated. You're from there, so you know. But I saw a lot of great references that we go crazy for in California that over there they're like, okay, we know about this. Like you can see that it's a very smart crowd, a very well-rounded crowd. I like the regional jokes. This reminded me of like when I saw Manchester for the first time. It's got that frog and bucket background a little bit, right? They come out the gate. You're like, what is this? The wooden spoon, him being a heroin addict. That's a very Connecticut thing.
Great.
You're right. The her family making 5K.
The 5K rebuttal.
Oh my God, you guys. I mean, just. I'm gonna probably fall in love with Connecticut this year. You guys might be my. I hope you're not my Montreal. I hope you're my Manchester.
That's a good way to put it. And by the way, I know you missed the last couple episodes. We got to get you back up to speed. You made a Connecticut school system joke, and I was like, oh, here comes Sandy Hook, and you just left it out there. You didn't even. Damn it. Yeah, dude. We gotta get you back on track.
Yeah, I gotta get back in here.
It's been a minute, but man, great opening battle this week. Connecticut really just like. Coming out of the gates, and look, they're an hour from New York. We have safeguards in place. We don't want them to win the secondary league by virtue of bringing out John Ajota and Andrew Manning and Malia Simon and all those guys. We have rules against that in place. But if this is the level of talent that they have in Connecticut, they don't need those guys.
They really don't. I mean, like that's impressive. That is your John Ajota and your Malia Simon right there, just Connecticut-fied.
Yeah, that was awesome shit. Congratulations, Hartford. Great first introduction to the league, and we apologize on behalf of Brian Moses for laughing at you the last episode.
All I know about Connecticut is Kin Kniff.
Oh, the Eminem character. Yeah.
Kin Kniff from Connecticut. Look it up, children. I know you guys hate Eminem, but man, in the 1900s,
bro,
fire.
You should have been around. None of this would be possible without Eminem. Shout out to Eminem. Let's check out Phoenix now. Now we did watch a Phoenix one on the first one of these, and it was great. Really good Phoenix one. Let's see if they can follow it up with a similarly excellent second battle here on the podcast. This is Stephen Owens versus Rob Maba.
Ooh, maybe Rob Maybe.
Maybe you know this guy.
Yeah, I know these guys.
Steve likes music festivals, and I feel like he tells all the hippie girls at them that he's part Cherokee. His native name is Begs for Pussy.
Thank you, American History XL.
XXL.
Rob's name sounds like his parents were predicting his life. He's like, so what do you want to do? He's like, Rob, maybe. Out the gate.
Thank you, Pillsbury Soy Boy. Show him your shirt. He's wearing a vintage shirt from the 2001 Diamondbacks. He doesn't care about baseball. That's just the last time he saw titties. He was 11. They were his mom's.
I'm not going to take that from someone whose body type looks like a bowling pin.
We kind of got the same body.
Which is crazy because you're probably waiting for your next strike, dude. It's just... you keep saying you're gonna move to Austin, and it's like, why? You could just be homeless here.
I love that. See, oh my God, I love you walking friend zone. I love him. I love Steve so much, but he's a nerd that gets distracted real easy. Like even right now, he's thinking about D&D, Denny's and Dairy Queen. Fuck, now he's thinking about double doubles.
Fuck. It's just weird because, like, I feel like you're the kind of person, like, who, when you say dad 3 times in the mirror, nothing happens.
That's funny. When you say girlfriend 3 times in the mirror, nothing happens.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Is it me or is it you?
I think it's me. And it's just interesting, dude, because, like, you look like a Viking that'll raid a fridge.
Yeah, dog, I'm fat and tall. The tall's in person. Girls like that a lot. I love that your favorite TV show is Seinfeld, because you're basically every character. You're autistic like Jerry, unfuckable like George, a big pussy like Elaine, and every night you say the N-word like Kramer.
Oh.
Holy moly.
Hold on. I got you something, Rob.
Is this number 5? Is this number 5?
Hold on, he's checking his D&D campaign.
No, I got you something. Here you go.
It's an employment application.
Yeah, because we both know that you and your jokes need work.
Yo. Thank you for this, you fucking prop comic.
All right, last one.
Give it up for Carrot Cake Top. Dude, look, Steve actually did something really great. He's the only guy in his community college that started a frat. It's called Beta Comes Alone.
Did he just get booed?
Shut up!
That's 5, right?
Shut
That's
up,
5.
Steve's mom!
Give it up! Give it up!
The awkward chaos at the end of the battle. If there's one thing all the other cities have taken from us, it's the awkward chaos at the end of the battle.
Yes, and all the hosts always forget what joke we're on.
Yeah?
I do love that it is a trait of every roast battle host.
You feel vindicated, I'm sure.
I do. It's hard.
Yeah.
You get lost in the sauce sometimes. Sometimes there's rebuttals. I do this every season. I talk about how ridiculous.
Let's get it out of the way now.
Yeah. Fuck you guys. All right. It's not that easy. We do this in post, and it feels easier for you guys. Like, how come we can't count it? It's live. You got DeHerm saying, you ugly ass all the time. I don't know if that's a joke or that's a rebuttal or that's just how he talks. I don't know. You can call anything a joke at some point, you guys. I'm the referee. They don't pay us off like they do in the NFL, the NBA, or the NHL. I'm sorry. Start paying us. Maybe I'll whatever.
There were a couple things in that battle you couldn't call a joke. To be fair. Overall, I thought strong. First of all, shout out to Phoenix before we even get into the meat and potatoes of the battle. The one we showed last time we went into the secondary league, the jokes were great, the battle was great, but it looked like it was filmed in like a warehouse with like an industrial strength like air conditioner going. They moved up, they leveled up. They are now in at the Desert Ridge Improv, and it looks like a great venue. Seemed like a great crowd and everything like that. And so shout out to them for already leveling up before the season starts, and then fun battle on top of it.
Yeah, dude. A.B. Reyna and those guys out in Phoenix are doing well. Anwar Newton, shout out those guys. And Lady. Rob Mabey has been doing this for a long time. He actually came out here to battle back in last decade. I don't know if you battled him or one of our guys did. But yeah, Rob's been doing this for a little bit. Every time we do Phoenix, Rob's usually one of the competitors. Very funny comic also. So I've seen Rob a long time. But Stephen Owen, that was a different kind of dismantling because it felt like like Rob felt like an old, like we're talking about jocks off camera. Like Rob felt like an old jock from like, it's just like it felt like a high school reunion where Rob was like, I'm still big man on campus, but I'm like the foreman at the local Amazon warehouse. You know what I mean? And then Steve is like, yeah, I run like a Fortune 500 company. Sorry, Rob, you probably need this more than I do. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. And he came at his essence a little bit, you know what I mean? Like play with his name, that was funny. It was like it felt like a symphony a little bit because it just built with the way like Steven kind of built some of the insults. I was impressed more or less, and Rob kind of felt like he was put in his place a little bit and tried to strong arm him. I think with some of his jokes, they felt more bullyish than like clever, like usually Rob can be. But yeah, I thought Steve was very clever, silly, almost reminded me of like a Denver comic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that these like new cities who have been doing roast battle for many years, it's not like they just put this together for the league.
Right.
It's going to be fun to watch the guys who have done it for years without it ever like going anywhere or being anything other than like a fun show in the room, are they gassed from 5 years of like, and they're just like, I got nothing left? Or is this going to be like rejuvenating to be like, all right, you know, if Rob watches this, is he going to be like, okay, next time I get on the podcast, I'm killing somebody?
Oh, he will. I mean, like, I honestly believe that he probably went into this thing being like, I've done this before. I can probably skate through this thing. This guy's not going to have good enough jokes. And then I think he might have uppercutted him a little bit like, oh, shoot, Steve's got some strength behind these hands. You know what I mean? And I think that might have got him a little bit because I saw him kind of like almost fact-checking him sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, guys get like that when they start losing in the battle. They start fact-checking a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Even he did the American History XXL. That's how you know Rob's been doing this a long time. He checked him about a joke that's literally, I mean, it's in the top 10 commandments of what not to do in roast battle.
I'm making it number 1 this year. We talked a lot about like we're gonna make a list of jokes that are like off limits, and I've been way too busy to get to that. I still want to do it at some point, but that's going to be the first ballot inductee into the Hall of Fame of jokes. I'm as the commissioner, I'm telling you this: do not use American History XXL. I'm not saying you'll be banished from the league. I'm not saying you'll face criminal prosecution, but I'm also not saying you won't face those things. There will be some sort of punishment. I got to figure it out. If I hear one more fucking person say American History XXL, I'm pulling the plug on the league. We're not doing it anymore. Okay? Stop saying it. And then I thought we were going to get carrot bottom, but we got carrot cake topper. Yeah. It didn't even make sense. He's not even a redhead. I didn't get it, but at least it was different. At least you didn't say carrot bottom.
Well, carrot cake, I mean, like it's white frosting and like a brown cake. It kind of looks like it a little bit.
You're going to pull a hamstring stretching that hard. All right, no more carrot bottom, no more American History XXL. I fucking mean it, guys. Stop it. Just stop doing those 2 jokes. I'm not playing with you this year, okay? I'm done. I'm breaking mentally. Okay, let's move on. Great shit though out of Phoenix. Great two for 2 on battles today. Hartford and Phoenix coming out of the gate strong.
Roger Goodell and Adam Silver and Rob Manfred are looking at you like this is the guy we got to follow.
I'm saying, dude, they would love to get on camera and say the things I'm saying. Can you imagine if Adam Silver was like, if you're not Steph Curry, stop shooting fucking threes. I'm sick of this shit. They got centers shooting threes now? What is it? Enough.
Yeah, better learn Japanese, buddy. That's where you go in our league. You go to the Japanese league.
We actually just had our first roast battle in Japanese.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, crazy. 30 seconds before we move on to the next battle because the Super Bowl is coming up and go Birds. Did you ever think when you started this thing that they'd be battling literally in Japanese, the language?
No, because I'm illiterate in Japanese. So I didn't think this thing would go anywhere. I'm so happy that now it's being done it's been Spanish down in Mexico City. Now it's being done in Japanese.
Crazy.
I don't even know what is that? Nippon? I don't even know what it is.
The crowd was chanting, battle. It was great. Okay, we're going to go back to New Orleans now. Speaking of people with accents you can't understand, let's go back to New Orleans and check out, it's a one-name battler. This is always risky. This is Jennings against a 3-name battler, Brock White Lions. Michael Jennings, Brock White Lions.
Not a lot of people know this, but Jennings' favorite position is doggy style, only because he can't teach his dog to roll over.
Thank you, Mitch Gets No Hedberg. Brock's a one-liner comedian, a lot like Mitch Hedberg, but unlike Mitch Hedberg, none of us will be sad when you inevitably overdose. There's only one line I hope he does tonight, and it's laced with fentanyl.
Thank you, dude that jerks off with Cheeto fingers. Prove it. Jennings looks like he has an itchy butt because he eats Taco Bell and wipes with Wendy's napkins.
Brock, you talk way too loud for how unfunny you are. Brock works offshore, not in the oil field, just a houseboat he cooks meth out of. He's a lot like Walter White in that way, but his biggest similarity to Walter White is his wife can't wait for him to die of cancer.
Thank you, David Crescent Roll. Jennings looks like he has, that was the last one. Jennings looks like a cult leader, but instead of poison, everyone dies of diabetes and heart disease.
Thank you, kid. Rock hard for children. Ball with the ball, to bite the bite. Brock's wife is a hairstylist. The joke could end there. It's pretty apparent she hates him. When he shows up to work on the oil rig, his coworkers are stoked. All they have to do is wring the oil out of his hair and skin.
Thank you, cousin It on heroin. Jennings looks like a child molester, but it's worse than you think. He's weak and fat, so he only molests the disabled children. Jennings has special needs.
Thank you, Wu-Tang Ku Klux Klan. Brock said his comedy is influenced by the Wu-Tang Clan. Shut the fuck up. The only way you're similar to a Wu-Tang album is because there's 9 black guys inside of you at any given time.
It's weird taking a gay joke from a dude who's not allowed at splash pads. I'm not sure if Jennings is a trans woman, but I'm sure of one thing. I know I don't want him reading books to my kids.
Brock, you look like an idiot. You dress how corny black people dressed in 2005. You look like the friend who drank exclusively Code Red Mountain Dew and was obsessed with making people watch you ride your dirt bike. Don't worry, man. I'll watch you pop a wheelie after the show, I promise.
I'm surprised you could get through that without buttering your Pop-Tart. From behind, Jennings looks like a dirty fat girl. From the front, he looks like a man who fucks children.
Brock's favorite author is Hunter S. Thompson. He doesn't know how to read, he just likes the name Hunter. No, I hope he has the same career as Hunter S. Thompson. Multiple bestsellers, late night appearances, and his life to end by suicide.
Not tonight, though. Thank you, Fat Al Yankovic. Don't let Jennings' glasses and outfit fool you. He's not a hipster, he's just poor.
Thank you, Hank Williams only sleeps with juniors. Brock wants to... He says he wish he could have been on more sets before the industry slowed down. I wish he could have been too, preferably as a cinematographer on Rust, produced by and starring Alec Baldwin. He doesn't actually want to work in the film industry, but I do want him murdered on a backlot in New Mexico.
It's funny you should bring up the film industry, young Ron Jeremy. It looks like you only say the N-word in traffic and in meetings and amongst friends and while you watch porn.
Thank you, Van Galen. Brock White Lions matches all of Hitler's criteria, but we all know he'd still get sent to the camps. Yeah, you need to have 2 blue eyes, but they're supposed to be pointing in the same direction.
It's weird getting roasted by a dude whose pubes are longer than his penis, but here we go. Jennings' pronouns are he, him, but his adjectives are gross, fat lesbian.
Brock looks like the sequel to Tiger King, where Joe Exotic managed to breed with a tiger.
It's weird getting roasted by a dude that hates black people but has diabetes. You look like everyone daps you up at the plasma center.
Brock has been able to accomplish something amazing. He's proven that you can do meth and heroin and still be fat as fuck.
It's weird getting roasted by a dude that hates Beyonce's new album but loves interracial porn. Jennings looks like he rapes girls, obviously, but it's worse than that. He only rapes white girls. He's a racist.
Good one. Good one, bro. Brock looks like the photos they show people in the South to warn them of the dangers of fucking their cousin.
Give it up for Brock and Jennings!
Okay. Am I right? That felt like a marathon, right? That was like, they each did like 15 jokes, I felt like.
Like a Boston Marathon. That was insane. Yeah. I feel like we got ran over by a pickup truck in New Orleans.
Yeah, dude. That was, New Orleans, the first episode we did this, they sent in a really fun battle that I think, collectively maybe we're most impressed by on the episode. Woo! All right,
I like Brock. I like Brock Whitelines. I saw him out when I was in Lafayette last time. That was a fun show. Shout out JP Leonard and the people out at Lafayette Comedy. They're so fun. And they had all the New Orleans guys. Brock was one of them. Brock is super impressive. He comes with a different kind of flair and energy, like Jennings was saying. He's a one-liner guy. He goes dark. Not a lot of connective tissue probably on the latter jokes, but I thought he had some fun and silly elements.
Sure.
And definitely there's a regional element to Connecticut, obviously, with their upper crusty and suburbanness. With this is definitely some bayou oil rig houseboat talk. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's on drugs, everybody's poor, everybody's getting their money from the government. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this felt like. And it felt like a lot of the kettle calling the teeth. You know, that whole thing of just like, well, you're this. Well, it was like the Spider-Man meme. They're just basically looking at each other, pointing at each other. It was like one guy's just basically wearing glasses and one guy's not.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to say that there weren't good elements to it. There were.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this opportunity to offer some constructive feedback to our friends in New Orleans. After watching Hartford and Phoenix, especially, two things. Number one, it was just way too many jokes. You got to limit it to 5. I don't want to micromanage that. You know, everybody kind of does their own thing. Lord knows I'd be a hypocrite with the Scotland situation. So you're allowed to do whatever you want. That's going to hurt you, I think, in the rankings. If you have that many jokes and it falls off that much towards the end, it's going to hurt you. It's a risk versus reward, and there's way more risk in this case than there is reward. The other thing is, I alluded to earlier, we had a conference call with all of the new cities and with Mike Eaton and Tom Goss, who are co-running this league. My hands are off on this thing. Mike, when I first started talking in the call, just giving them like the rundown and trying to be as professional as possible, Mike was like very clearly like making fun of me behind my back, but he's on screen. So finally I was like, what are you doing? Like, what is it that I'm saying that's so like you have to like make fun of me? And he was like, you're just so serious. And then he's like, this is gonna be the fun league, and they want to have a different vibe, which I love. I love it. I'm all about it. And then Mike's last note after being like, this is the fun league, man. We're just going to have fun. It's going to be great. We're going to do some cool shit. And then at the end, he's like, if I see anyone reading off of their phones, like, I will not rank your battle.
Oh, my God.
It was the one thing where all of a sudden he took a complete turn and he was just like, I do not put up with people reading off their phones. It's 5 jokes. Memorize that shit. And Tom was a little bit, more lenient. He's like, I'm fine if you look at it for notes, but don't be reading off of it. Those guys were just straight up reading off of it.
Yeah.
So I know New Orleans attended the meeting. This was filmed before the meeting, and I'm sure they've already passed that message along to their people. But it seems like the secondary league is not going to tolerate reading off of the phones.
Interesting.
And maybe it's because of that really jumped out at me when I watched this.
I don't ever mind watching. My mom was saying this too, which is wild. She was just like, they're reading with their phones still. I'm like, I don't care about that. My dad said, I feel like older folks are kind of like, and I just feel like people who are older who watch this are like, you got, be professional, because people we watched growing up were professional. I don't really mind. These are new jokes. It's like Inspector Gadget shit. It's like 30 seconds after these are done, they're not using these anymore. They explode. So if you can get them out as best you can. I don't mind the phone so much. I will say, because you guys are a new city and there's a lot of new live performers doing this. Not all of them are stand-up comics all the time. Just less is more with this, because you guys aren't really used to writing jokes like that, especially at volume like that. So they're not always going to be good. Editing is your best weapon, especially when you're new like this, especially when you're new in just the format of this. So your best weapon right now in New Orleans is less is more, because had that been just 3 jokes, man, you guys would look crazy, fun, and silly. It looked like Hunter S. Thompson down in New Orleans battling himself. Like, that's what that would have looked like had it only been 3 to 5 jokes. But going to 7 and 9, it was like, okay, we're losing some connective tissue, like I was saying before. But you can tell these guys are funny and silly.
It forces you to repeat premises too. Right. So instead of having 3 different jokes, now you have 3 pedophile jokes, you have 3 rape jokes, you have 3... Jennings literally had 3 different jokes where the punchline was, I wish you were dead. Just like different ways where he's like, in my ideal world, you would kill yourself or somebody else would kill you.
Yeah, diabetes, black people, diabetes, black people, diabetes, black people, yeah.
Yeah. And, and they just ran out of steam. So definitely less is more. I think 5 jokes is the sweet spot. There was just too much here. And there were some good moments, but just you gotta distill those good moments into a better kind of like overall product. That's just my honest take. And I hope it's not too harsh. But man, we got spoiled. I did, at least, with Hartford and Phoenix as the first 2.
I think you're going to like Brock White Lions as the season goes on.
I believe it.
He's a student of the game. I met him out there in Lafayette. He was he's got a big man on campus thing about him. He's cool. I think we're going to see a lot more of Brock this season, or at least I hope I do. I like what I saw. This wasn't even that bad. I honestly, again, it was just too many jokes probably.
Yeah.
It was just the river ran dry.
It's always my favorite part of a new season is finding out new people.
Yeah.
And listen, you can't judge anybody off of the first impression entirely, because we've seen too many battlers come out and not be good in their first battle, and then by battle 5 they're a fucking monster.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Jennings, you're living up to a big name in the Rose Battle community. There was another Jennings before you. And she the way you got fucked,
a little bit different than the way, yeah.
I watched that again. Hers, I wouldn't watch you get fucked like that again.
She was a suicide girl, and he had 3 jokes about his opponent committing suicide. So there is a little bit of a connection there.
A little
Maybe they're related.
Jennings and Lindsay Jennings.
Shout out Lindsay Jennings. Everybody subscribe on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's still
her
up and
suicide
running.
name. Her suicide girl name was Jennings.
It was just Jennings?
Just Jennings.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
The more you know.
The more you know. Let's close with the only international city in the secondary league this year. It's Berlin, Germany.
Fuck yeah.
I believe our 5th city across the 2 leagues in Europe.
It's my heart giving out.
Giving out your heart to everybody.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones where I'm like, I hope the cameras are too tight, and did not catch that, actually. If we missed the Narcan, maybe we also missed the Elon. This is the last battle we're going to show this week. This is Shannon Brook versus Dane Brasher. Let's jump right into it.
Battle! 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 Battle!
All right. I love battle. So good to be here roasting the girl from school who got rejected by the local pedophile. Shannon has OCD, but she's also dirty and gross. So every time she fucks a stranger in the toilet, she has to flush 7 times while he cries in the corner.
It's really cool to be here roasting Dave Adams' younger, less successful brother. It's good to see Dane, to be honest. I don't know if you knew this, he was recently in hospital. Yeah, he had to get the parrot surgically removed from his shoulder. It's true, when Dane tells people he works on stage, they assume he's a magician's assistant. Probably because he looks like a teenage boy in a wizard's body.
That's good, I had to remember what I looked like.
I wouldn't look in the mirror if I looked like you either, Dane.
Thank you, Pippi Longforehead. Shannon has used a couple of repeating methods to get through to the finals in this tournament. The main one that she's used is props. That's fun, isn't it? It's like it's the 90s. and by props, of course, I mean the 5 friends that she brings to every battle.
Yeah, I have friends who support me. Oh no! You got me, Dane. You really got me. Dane looks like he collects mice. rodent porn. Starring Dave Abbott and Clara Upchurch.
Thank you, you poorly carved jack-o'-lantern. Shannon's first job in the entertainment industry was at a cinema. I read that wrong. As a cinema. Apparently they just projected the movies on her forehead.
Thank you, non-binary moose. Dane takes a lot of drugs, but it looks like the only thing he's overdosed on is estrogen. He takes a lot of psychedelics because it makes him think about his place on Earth. The flat Earth. It's because 4 hours into a trip is the only time he can see a bright future.
Thank you, Chernobyl chipmunk. In case any of you were wondering, Shannon's hair color is called red flag. I've talked a lot of shit tonight about Shannon's appearance, so I want to finish by saying something nice. Because she may look like a deep sea fish that got clingy with the fisherman who caught her, but say what you will about Shannon, she is not technically bald.
Dane broke up with his ex-wife to move to Berlin 6 years ago to pursue comedy, and we're all excited for him to start. I know Dane does gig about once or twice a week, which, to be fair, is more action than his ex-wife got. Dane's current girlfriend actually asked him if he would like her to wax or shave, to which Dane replied, "Baby, you don't have to do either. As soon as you grow hair, it's all over."
So I gather, I guess that was he alluded to getting to the finals of the tournament. That might have been the tournament finals. I should know this, but again, not my league. But if that was the tournament finals, I understand why. There were some really fun jokes in there.
Yeah, I'm learning now that there's a new formula for how to win over weathered roast battle guys. Just use animal references. If you use like a weird offsetting animal reference on somebody, I'm gonna lose my mind. The guy literally looked like all those things. He looks like a non-binary moose.
Sure.
He looks like, or like a hipster moose, really. He looks like a guy who collects mice.
He does, and the collects mice was crazy. I love that one.
Oh man, yeah, she's good at getting the like an animal essence out of somebody. I appreciated that. She was really good at like gathering the essence of somebody, making it silly. The way that Denver kind of does it a little bit, and
parrot on the shoulder. That's an animal joke too.
Parrot on the shoulder was really
that made me
good.
laugh so hard because it's just
surgically removed from his shoulder. God, that's a great. You look like Joe.
What I love about it is because I battled Jay Yamaki in Tokyo last year, the world champ.
Mm-hmm.
When you sit down, there's certain things that you have to write about, and one is he kind of looks like a pirate, so you make a list of like pirate type of things, right? And you're looking for like the pirate connection, right? And never in a million years would I have thought of like he just had the parrot surgically removed from his shoulder.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, jokes you've never heard where you're like, I've been on this premise. That's
yeah.
Shannon
I spent
Brooks,
hours thinking about that and never came close to that.
And she nailed it. Yeah,
yeah.
You gotta go to Berlin, buddy.
Yeah, apparently. I would love to go to Berlin. I love the vibe they have set up there. It looks like a house party. There's like a door on stage. There's a lamp off to the right.
Very Berlin, yes. Yeah, there was an applause break for some joke, and some lady's just sipping wine.
I know.
So German.
They have a camera with a perfect view of a better camera. Why couldn't we get the view from that camera? I don't know. Probably got to tighten up the audio a little bit, but like, you know, some really some funny creative stuff in there that I haven't heard before.
Yeah, that was too much fun.
Also, I'm learning something. And I'm not sure I should tell this story. I won't incriminate anybody else on it. But the forehead jokes did not really go over that well. And that might be a European thing. And I'm gonna tell this story. I'm gonna close the podcast with this. When I was in London, I went to a gentleman's club when I was there. Not throwing anyone else under the bus, not saying anybody else may or may not have been there. Doesn't matter. Cut to Moses. I'm not sure we have the live switching down yet, so I want to make sure that your nonverbal affirmation that you were there is on camera. So we went to a club. Might have been another roast battle or two there. I don't really remember. These women came up. They were very aggressive in this club. They started talking to me. I was already a few drinks deep. We had been having a good time in London. And the one girl says, "What are you doing here? What are you and your friend or friends doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're here to do comedy." And she's like, "You guys do stand-up comedy?" And I try to drunkenly kind of explain the roast battle. And this woman, I believe she was Romanian, she was like, "Oh, you roast?" And I was like, yeah. And she was like, "Roast me. What would you say?"
Jesus Christ.
"What? You roast me right now?" And I'm like, no. I was like, I would never. I was like, "You're beautiful. What could I say about you? You're gorgeous, you know, whatever." And she's like, "No, roast me." She kept insisting. She kept like doubling down, like, roast me. And I was way too drunk to come up with something funny. I had no shot of structuring a joke properly. So instead, I just thought, well, what always works against a woman in the States? And I just came up to forehead.
Something cute, funny, yeah.
Right. So, I wasn't, in the moment, I couldn't come up with anything funny to say. So I was just mean. And she was like, she kept pushing me. She was like, roast me. And I was like, what could I possibly say about you? Like, you're gorgeous. I mean, obviously your forehead's a little bit big, but who doesn't have a big forehead? And without missing a beat, she just looked at me and she goes, "I have the smallest forehead in here." Oh. And I was like, yeah, no, absolutely. I was like, if anything, I should have gone small forehead. I don't know why I said that. Like, I'm so sorry. And then she was like, "You pay me $60 for." I'm like, sure, yeah, of course. Like,
yeah.
I got the worst dance ever, and I was like, yeah, I deserve that, absolutely.
You pity tipped this woman because you said she had
because I bombed.
Smallest forehead.
And she was right. I looked at it and I'm like, damn, that is an abnormally small forehead. I wasn't even looking at her forehead previously. I just knew forehead jokes because we talked about the women have completely normal foreheads, and then the guy's like, "Oh, she got a big forehead," and the place goes nuts.
Right.
But between that and Berlin, I'm thinking maybe in Europe, they're very confident in their forehead size.
Yeah, don't talk about Eastern European women, obviously, because this is what like Berlin's. Well, it's like West and East, I guess. But yeah, that's on the cusp of Eastern Europe. So
yeah,
they don't like. I guess that's like a Slavic thing. Don't talk about a Slavic woman's forehead.
Compare them to different animals. Do not talk about their foreheads.
Yeah, wild because
learning a lot.
Yeah, I will say this about those gentlemen's clubs, and there aren't a lot of Brits or London women there.
No.
It's usually just them Eastern European women hustling the fuck out of you.
I have so much more to say about that place, but I'm gonna save it. I anything is incriminating because I'm currently disputing a charge with my credit card company, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, you got robbed.
Yeah.
We were at a casino.
Yeah, dude. We were also at a. You know, they make you turn your hats backwards in casinos in London so they could see your eyes. Yeah, it's not great. Anyway, go Birds. Super Bowl starts in an hour, so I gotta go. You got any closing thoughts on today's episode?
Buy merch. Test your fentanyl.
Sure.
And go Birds.
Yeah, and in that order, buy merch, and then test your fentanyl. That's the most important thing. RoastBattleLeague.com. We have a whole bunch of new designs up there of the merch. There's a lot of genuinely like really cool stuff up there. I'm going to grab some of it and start wearing it this season because before it was just the one shirt and now we have a whole bunch. You can rep your city no matter where you're at and, different designs and everything like that. Really cool shit. Check that out. Yeah.
Here's what I was going to ask before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Since we're taking over Canada, will that still be considered international West?
Ooh.
See you next week.